All right, welcome to Meet in the Middle. Today's episode, we're going to dive into psychedelics.
All right, I'm ready.
Are you ready?
I just had my brownie. It should kick in halfway through the episode. Let's get to it.
So in the 1960s, our government banned all psychedelics.
Boo.
Yeah, this was due to political pressure from big pharma and religious groups. Yet the conspiracy that came true is I knew for years and years there was talk of our government doing secret LSD experiments on unwitting civilians and prisoners, and that all came true, right? There was a project for 22 years funded by the CIA, and they funded it through schools, academia, nonprofits, front companies, and they used LSD and other psychedelics for the purpose of mind control, interrogation, and behavior modification for 22 years. Well, it was illegal. And what's crazy is they did this to folks that didn't know they were being experimented on. So they took prisoners, they took people out of psych wards, military, like your kid goes off to the army and then suddenly he's getting, doused with LSD. And it wasn't just them, hey, let me give you some drugs and see how you act. They were torturing them too. So they're trying to break their mind. And they would put them in dark rooms for months at a time and keep dousing with LSD, weird music, simulations of drowning, like trying to break the human mind.
For anyone who's experienced LSD, this sounds terrible.
It sounds horrible.
You could be sitting in this nice, comfortable chair and all of a sudden think you're drowning. So the fact that they were trying to induce those kind of panic things just sounds like a nightmare.
And they didn't just do it for like, oh, let's do a 6-month run on this. Well, that's crazy. What are we doing to our fellow humans? They did it for like 22 years. And they took prisoners out of Kentucky and New York, mostly African-American, psychiatric patients, military personnel, civilians, including students and homeless people. Students. Even CIA employees became unwilling, unbeknownst test subjects. There was a high-profile example, Dr. Frank Olson. He was a U.S. Army specialist. He died from being dosed with LSD, not to his knowledge, in 1953. No one went to jail. And in fact, in 1973, the CIA director, Richard Helms, ordered MK Ultra records be destroyed, and only a fraction survived. That's fucking crazy.
Our country has the most bizarre relationship with drugs.
It's so weird.
Like, I don't understand. It's like every drug you can think of, America has like outlawed for various like pharmaceutical or religious reasons, and then like done all kinds of covert stuff with, which is, I just don't understand the obsession with drugs. I mean, we could go on and on about pharmaceutical drugs and advertisements and everything else, but like illicit drugs, like there's just like such a strong draw to them from the federal government.
It's one of those things. We're such prudes about drugs. I don't understand it. I really don't get why they're like that. I mean, it kind of blows my mind too that we're so anti-drug in some ways. And then we push, and we're awash with pharmaceuticals.
Yeah, but then the federal government's like, yeah, nobody can have this, but we're gonna fuck a few people up really hard.
Yeah. Seriously,
it's weird. It's like I don't get it.
And we're the most drug society in the world, Americans, with pharmaceuticals.
Oh yeah.
Yet we've got the most drug enforcement money.
And super unhealthy as well. I'd add we're awash in pharmaceuticals, but extremely unhealthy as a country.
Oh, it's bad. It's a bad combo. I mean, but while all this was happening, across the globe, indigenous cultures were quietly using plant medicine. Ayahuasca specifically is what I want to discuss, legally, spiritually, and with centuries of wisdom that they acquired from this. And so I was against psychedelics. I just was scared to do it, and I never did it. In fact, I only smoked cannabis twice my whole life. I just don't like it, even though I own a large cannabis company. I drank, but about, I think it was 10 years ago, I was going through like a lot personally, and my partner, Los, who I own the cannabis company with, I just had a lot of childhood trauma and all the bullshit that everybody fucking deals with. But I just pushed a lot down and put on this face that everything was great, but inside I was very angry, unhappy, disorganized, yeah, I made money, but like it was all about making money and not, I didn't really find purpose in life or like, why am I here? I was like, it's not just to make money. And I found myself drinking more and just like headed towards a path where it could have probably led to divorce with my wife, who was my child. You know, we met in high school. And so I called Los one day and said, dude, I know you've been talking for 4 years to try to get me to this ayahuasca. Like I did research on it and like apparently the Catholic Church is against it and it's illegal and people died from this. And apparently there's like demons and stuff and dark energy and like, uh, I didn't want to do it, but at this point I don't have a choice. I need a reset. And so I ended up doing it 8 times and it completely fucking changed my life. So I want to talk a little bit about ayahuasca to you guys. I know you're familiar with it, but I'll give our viewers a little background on it.
Did you know that ayahuasca, I'm sure you're going to tell everybody this, it's actually 2
Yeah.
plants?
Yeah, I'm gonna get into
All
what
right.
it is. So basically the story of like how it's from indigenous folks in South America, Peru, Brazil, Colombia.
They call it what, vaccine of the forest or something like that?
They call it the mother plant. There's different names for it, but
The vine of the spirit.
the vine of the spirit. But basically they said angel or an alien or something came down to these tribes folks and said, you need to mix out of the millions and millions of plants, this shrub and this vine together in a brew, and it'll bring you closer to God. And the Akasha record, which is like God's book, right? Eternal knowledge, which is all around us, and the code, right? And they put it together, and what it does is, and there's still debate about this, but a lot of people, and I'm one of them, believe that your pineal gland, which is just discovered, 25 years ago or whatever in science, right? There's a pineal gland in the middle of your brain. It's the most protected element. It's about the size of a rice grain. And it emits a little bit of DMT naturally. And it does it when you're REM sleep. So you feel like you're out of your body and you're clearing all your energy. You have a good night's sleep and you reset and recharge. And you're downloading all of your information, I believe, to the Akasha record, which is God's book during that time period. It's like a download. And you wake up, you feel refreshed. You also, that pineal gland releases a massive amount of DMT into your system, into your brain, when you die and when you're born. So the theory is when your soul comes into your body and when your soul leaves your body, that's when it releases it. There's DMT in a lot of food we eat. It's all over the place. Fruits, and different vegetables. It's all over the place. But you have these enzymes in your stomach that kill the DMT. So you never experience it unless your pineal gland allows you to experience it during REM sleep, or you fucking die, or you're born. So the vine, which they call the ayahuasca vine, turns off these enzymes in your stomach to allow you to digest it and take a full shot of DMT, which that brush has a fuckload of DMT in it. So by mixing these 2 fucking plants in the middle of the fucking forest, you get to experience what you experience really when you die. And the DMT just takes you just out of your mind and body, right? It was the hardest experience I've ever done. And I've done, I'd have to lose 20 pounds in 2 days in wrestling and like fucking not eat for a week and a half and dealt with a lot of stuff in my life. But this was very, very hard. So the experience that I had was I did it with a very experienced shaman. She interviewed me for an hour about why do I want to do this and what's my purpose. Took all my medical records because you can't be on certain medications or have heart issues because it could lead to death. And she clears you. And I guess she doesn't clear like 1 out of every 6 people, right? Doesn't get cleared. And she said, okay, you're going to have to like eat clean for the next week before you do the ceremony. You go to this camp, and I won't tell you where it is, but it's somewhere. And you go to this camp for the weekend. It's like an adult camp. But there were like CEOs there and like celebrities. And it's like this camp in the middle of like a city. It's like adult camp where you sleep in like little yurts and you're there for the weekend and you a session on Friday and then a session on Saturday night. So you do twice over the weekend.
And just to clarify, these yurts, they're outside? Because
Yeah.
you said it's a camp in the city, so it's like
It's a big property,
I see.
and they have like a big yurt where you do the ceremony, and then they got like small ones that you can rent that you can sleep in, or you can sleep in the big yurt with a bunch of people.
Okay.
It's not very expensive. And she said, well, you have to think of an intention. Like, what's your intention? And it could be, I want to stop smoking, or I want to stop drinking, or I want to deal with my childhood trauma, or like, why did my dad do that? Whatever your intention is. And you think about it over and over and over again for the 2 weeks leading up to it. And then before you do the medicine, you really just concentrate on it. And you take the little tea, like a little like shot glass, and it just within like a minute or two, it just takes over. And it's autopilot of intense purging. So you're vomiting, sweating, you have chills, you're seeing shit all over the place. Like it's fucking weird.
So hallucinating.
You're hallucinating hard. And what's even more amazing, because I believe sound is like a very important element of like our existence, and we've ignored that. There's a total another session, but they have all these songs that these shamans have learned to invoke the cleansing. So the vomiting, think of your body as a glass, right? And negative energy is real. And how does that guy get so evil that he fucking rapes kids and murders his wife? His glass is full of like negative trauma and whatever the hell's in there. And he never emptied it. So this vomiting and purging, it felt like demons, like energy was coming out of me. And it's about 4 hours, right, of this. And at
What?
the end,
Wait, you're vomiting for 4 hours?
well, you take breaks. You take breaks in between. Like you take a nap and you sleep.
Like you don't choose the break, like the break chooses you.
You just get tired and you take a nap, and they'll do when they do their like their music, right? They've got little like humming and different sound waves and stuff that they create with different instruments. And they sing. You can feel the vibration go through you. And I remember laying there and feeling it, because I would like be taking a break, so I was tired. I took a nap, and it would come in your body and shake you up, and you would get up and you purge again. It was like waking up all like the negative energy out of you. And then at the same time, you're seeing all these images that have to do with whatever your intention was, but it doesn't make any sense. So you'll see images and this and that, and like, you're like, what is that? And like, maybe it's about your parents or something you see when you were a kid, and then you see them when they were a kid. And it's like this weird collage that you don't understand, but you're just like in the moment, you're going through it. And at the end, like it just like, it ends like you think you're like it's never going to end. And then it just ends and you're totally fine. It's weird, just like turns off.
Huh.
And then you look down at your bucket that should be overflowing, and there's like this much in it. Yet I felt it come out. It was all energy, and they're running around cleaning the energy out of the room. And it got rid of all my childhood trauma, all of it. It helped me get over alcohol and stuff, because I was a crutch. But it was the most spiritual thing I've ever done. Like it brought me so much closer to God than I've ever been. And now I'm like way more religious. It also, think of a computer. When you upgrade a computer and you get a chip from 1980 and then you put one in there from 2025. That's what it is. It's a fucking upgrade to where, I mean, I had my one job and I was good at it, but I couldn't handle anymore. I could barely handle my clients and my family. Dude, I own like 8 companies now. Like, and I take Fridays off, and I take long ass vacations, and I spend a lot of time with my family, and I just don't care about money. And the biggest revelation that I had was, this is all just a test. All of it is a test. And the only thing that really matters is the energy that you give out. And you can accept the energy you take in. So by just changing my perception on something, change the trauma. And I can manifest whatever I want. And it sounds crazy, but when I was done with this, I was literally sitting there crying. Like, dude, the hippies were right. And I'm like super conservative, fucking Republican. I was like, they were fucking right, right? And I'm like, dude, I was like, I could see energy. Like because I have to go to the restroom, and you like leave the earth. I'll be in the dark and I'm pissing on the forest. And I look over in the tree, and like the tree is like lit up, and you see like all like this energy coming through the tree. I'm like, dude, I'm tripping hard. but I just wanted to touch the tree, and I touched the tree, and I'm like thanking the fucking tree, the earth. And it's like, it was the weirdest thing ever. Like, that's kind of a weird moment.
So just to be clear, you're like aware the whole time?
You're aware.
So you're like,
I think you're aware for the first time in your life. I mean, I don't have any experience with ayahuasca, but all the hallucinogens I've done in my life, I think it is the most aware you've been. You just become conscious of everything around you and how, like, you feel this deep connection with everything that you don't normally even pay attention to, like the trees and the earth. If you're not one of those people that seems really grounded in those things, I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about the actual like roots and stuff. So Banisteriopsis caapi is the first, the vine
That's
that you're talking about.
Yeah.
So that is, it has harmala alkaloids in it, and it's a monoamine oxidase inhibitor, which was an old class of antidepressants. And the reason why DMT is like, the DMT comes from the other Psychotria
Yeah.
viridis, the shrub.
Yeah.
So that has the DMT in it. But if you take that alone, you're never going to get any of the effects of it.
Yeah.
But the MAOI inhibitors are what causes it to be that. They used to call DMT the businessman's trip, because when they injected it or like did inhalation of that, it would last like 15 minutes. But because of the MAOI inhibitors, you take this and it can last 3.5, 4 hours long.
It's crazy.
So it's just that combination that gives this.
oh, and it must be, because I've talked to people who have like smoked DMT
Mhm.
and they talk about it they're like not aware. They're like, it shoots me into outer space and I just like come to 15 minutes later.
That's 15 minutes. And that's much more powerful because it's going just right in your brain, a blood barrier. It's breaking through it, and people experience death. So normally when you take that, like for example, when I did it, I was driving my car and a big boulder fell on me and I was dead. And then you go out, you see yourself going out, and you become like one with energy. You lose all.
So this happened to you when you drank it?
When you smoke it.
Okay, this happened when you smoked.
Yeah. So I tried that once. It scared shit out of me. But like, you experience death where you have no like sense of self. You're just like energy, and it was beautiful. But I didn't. Something inside of me said, "You're not supposed to experience that. That's not really helping you." And I did ayahuasca 8 times, and it was probably one too many times. I ran out of things to make intentions for, and then my last one, I asked, like, why are we here? And like the shaman's like, are you sure you want to do that? Like, it's a deep question. Like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, why are we here? And I just saw like some crazy shit that I won't even get into, but it's like everything before that was awesome. Like, I was like, deal with childhood trauma, and I would see, why did my dad do this and this to my brothers and me? And I saw him being abused as a kid and crying. So
It's intense, dude. Super intense.
I have to cut that. But yeah, it was intense.
Yeah. No, I think it's amazing. Thank you for sharing that, because these things are obviously for all of us. We all have those things that are, soft to the touch, that we're sensitive about. And the fact that there is something like this that people can experience in such a like direct,
Yeah.
clear way, because like, what you're talking about and like the things that you work through doing this like once, like people will go to therapy for like a decade,
Yeah.
and they'll take medicine for like a decade to try and work through it.
Yeah, nothing.
And like the fact that you can do this like once and like work through some of that stuff so quickly is
But
incredible.
think about this shows you the reason why they immediately put this as a Schedule 1 drug, because this sounds like it would be way more effective than all of these medications that we have a whole industry built on. We use so many antidepressants. I mean, every other prescription that I dispense on a daily basis is an antidepressant or an anti-anxiety medication. And there's all this evidence and studies now that things like plant-based medicine, whether it be that or microdosing of psilocybin, or just even the use of the recreational use of cannabis, sometimes can decrease anxiety. And you see this in our culture all the time. There's so many people out there who are totally against the use of cannabis, of THC, and it's the same people that I see come in like clockwork every 30 days to fill 90 alprazolam or lorazepam or any of these. So benzodiazepines there'd probably be a lot less use of that if we started to be a little less averse to having to exploring the idea of plant-based medicine.
It should totally be legal, and it's not just those that are on antidepressants, which I think would help them immediately. It was the best gift I've ever received, ever. And like all my kids are going to do this when they graduate college. I'm going to make them do it because it's something I think every human should be doing. Brings you closer to God. It clears any traumas that you have, even if they're minor. And it opens up your mind, and it knocks off all that calcium off your pineal gland, that all the sugar and the fluoride and all that, it shuts, everybody's pineal gland's shut down. And if that's how we become closer to God and increase our vibration, they're keeping us at this plane, right? We're not elevating, regardless of where your religion is. You're supposed to elevate to the next level, right? And I feel like I skipped 50 lifetimes with this one gift that someone gave me. And why would I not share that? And why would I not tell people about it? And I've gotten not all my friends, but a lot of my friends, family members, all my brothers have gone and done it. Not all of them, but most of them. Coworkers, partners in businesses, and everybody seemed to have a good experience. My wife was the only one that like didn't take anything from it. But I think if you're not open to it, you really got to like open your heart to it and like just take my body and go.
Yeah.
But if you sit there and you fight, like you could fight it. Like I remember the first like minute I was like fighting it. And I was like, okay, let me just open up. She told me to open up. I read, it's like, and you like, and it's just, and it takes over. And it's on autopilot.
If
Whatever
you're
your
someone
intention.
who wants to be in control of everything in your life, you probably have a hard time
Yeah,
just
let it go.
letting
You gotta
go.
let go.
I think that's why they don't sit with me very well. Like anytime I've done, I smoked marijuana lots of times when I was younger. This is one of these things that's, it's not difficult for me to talk about now because it's been so long.
Yeah.
But I was raised by a hippie mom who I love dearly, and she's super religious now. But all of my first experiences as young as 5 and 6 years old were with my mother and my mom's twin sister and family members smoking pot. So I grew up around it, which did actually save me a lot of times from having those issues in high school. But the first 2 times that I experienced other hallucinogens aside from that mescaline and then LSD,
Yeah.
I took a tab of LSD on my junior trip to Washington, D.C., which was a really bad idea.
Awful timing.
An awful time. And
Sweating in the
I
back of the
also
bus.
like played it out to the guys. They were swimmers, and they were the hippie crowd who did a lot of pot and everything.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I smoked pot a lot. And I even told them that I did LSD before, which I didn't, because they're like, maybe you should take half. I'm like, no, give me a whole fucking tab. I'm ready to go. And it was one of those things where it's like simultaneously the worst and best experience of your life,
Yeah.
because I think it changed the trajectory of a lot of things. And I think that's what it does. I almost view people that have done something like that and other people as like eyes open, eyes closed.
Yeah.
Like you just experience that and you realize the world is so much bigger than you imagine, and we're so connected in a way that we can't imagine unless we experience something like
Yeah.
that. And I'm scared to death to do ayahuasca because I'm a very nervous person to begin with. So I think I'd be one of those rare cases of a hypertensive crisis where I'd have a fucking heart attack.
No, I talked to a shaman about it, and he advised me not to do it.
Yeah.
Because I'm too anxious
Yeah.
I just I can't relax about that kind of stuff, and I'll probably like start having panic attacks, and I was advised not to do it.
And that's okay. Like it's I'm not saying it's for everyone, but for me personally, and I if my kids aren't disposed like you are, panic attacks, they seem fine now, but obviously I'll check with them everywhere. I'm like, come on, let's do this. But I think understanding what the experience is and the environment, like you have to be in the right environment with a very experienced person who cares about your health. And
Yeah.
you hear about the deaths. It's like I think there were 5 deaths or something in the last 20 years. So it's like, yeah, there are deaths, but none of them were tied directly to ayahuasca. It was tied to their antidepressants, or they had a heart condition, or in the fucking middle of the Amazon with, an unexperienced shaman who's just trying to make money. So it's like, you got to be in the right environment. And that's part of legalization. Like if this was legal, the experience will be regulated and the quality of the medicine will be regulated. And you have to have a health checkup, and you're doctor would have to sign off on it or something, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of science behind it. As we were talking about before this started, that tyramine-containing foods, foods that are high in tyramine, will cause a lot of the other hypertensive crisis, and also increased not just vomiting, but shitting yourself
Yeah.
as well. So
Fun.
those kind of things. Yeah, so you'd have to watch that. And
You could shit yourself too. Trust me, I was running out of the earth. But what was weird is like the second time I did it, I don't know if it was a shaman or someone else. I was like, man, I had to go to the bathroom like 30 times, and it was kind of like messing with my experience. And
you
like,
shit your pants, didn't you?
no, I didn't. Like, cause I'm good. I didn't do it.
I'm good.
But they were like, just tell your body you don't need to go. And literally, when you're on ayahuasca, it'll shut it down. I'm like,
That's
no
crazy.
way. And I did it the second time and every other time. And when I had it like it was coming out, I was like, you don't have to go to the restroom. And I just tell myself that, and it would go away. Boop. And it might come back an hour later or something. And I'm like, oh, there it is again.
To do that almost every other day on my fucking
No,
commute
you
to work.
can't do it when you're not on ayahuasca. It was only when I
I
was
just had
like,
one Dunkin', and now I'm gonna feel like I'm gonna shit my pants, like running into the clenched ass cheeks, running into the pharmacy.
Oh god.
but some of the other things that folks tell me is like, it's the Catholic Church and a lot of religions preach against it.
But why would they?
It-
I mean,
it's the
so
work
many
of the
people
devil.
report
Yeah.
a religious type experience, one that brings them closer to God. Why wouldn't any religion, whether it be the Catholic Church or not, want you to have that? Want you to be a seeker?
I
I
mean,
think that's the reason why we enter churches in the first place, is we're seeking something bigger than ourselves.
no, I think it's ridiculous, but the Catholic Church does have like a very long history with shutting down anything indigenous.
Yeah. No, and I wanted to talk about that. And I'm a Catholic. I'm part of our local Catholic community. I donate money there. My kids go to Catholic school, and
Mine too.
I don't want them to kick us out. But like, yeah, the Catholic Church has a pretty checkered past. But I believe the good that they have done far outweighs any bad that they've done. But part of what Catholic Church and Roman Catholics and all these other folks did was that they moved into areas like Americas, and they destroyed cultures, and they destroyed records. And like St. Patrick is hero that we all celebrate on. I'm half Irish. Like, oh, St. Patrick, he saved Ireland, killed the snake. Like, they went to Ireland and destroyed all of our history, all of our medicines that we have, plant-based medicines, and our religion, and hundreds and thousands of years of like knowledge was like destroyed. So like, why are we celebrating this guy? Right. So that's a whole other conversation. But I think that was in the back of my mind, is like, dude, am I gonna walk in here like the devil like takes me and I go to hell? Like, what? It was scary. But my experience was, if it is the devil and it is dark energy, why the fuck did it bring me so close to God
Oh.
and the church and make me a better human being? So that's bullshit. And fucking sugar kills like 2 million people a year. Salt kills like 1.8 million a year. Fucking deers kill like 500 people a year. Like, this kills 5. Like, so yeah, there is a risk, but I think if you did it with an experienced person and you understand the risk and you did the research, and then you really understand what your experience is going to be like, because it is fucking hard. But anything in life worth having is hard. And this was the hardest thing I've ever done. And it was the biggest gift when I was going through it. In fact, I was eager to go back and do it. And then I hit a point where I was like, oh, fuck. That last one was like a little too much, and I don't really have any more cleansing to do. And I'll never do it again. Maybe I will, but I don't think I'll ever have to do it again.
Well, you might hit
But I might.
You might hit a bump on the road that you need to work through.
I do combo every month.
Yeah.
Just something else. But
Oh, wait, combo's the vaccine to the forest, right?
yeah, I think
Yeah,
combo is.
okay.
Yeah, that's the toad venom.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys want to talk about that, but that's something I do every month.
Yeah, I mean, combos. I find all of these things really fascinating. You know, I'm not of the constitution to really be able to do them for the most part, because I tend to panic when some type of chemical is
You
like
did combo.
taking over my body.
Didn't you do combo?
I did a very light combo, very, very light at your house. Yeah, you're a pusher. We've already kind of identified that.
Cut this. Is that illegal? Like, he's just kidding. We never
Went
did
to your
combo.
house and licked some toads together.
Yeah.
No, but combo is like, it's. I did a very, very light dose.
Did you get anything from it?
I didn't vomit, but I did get I felt the flushing. I did all that. And then had like incredible mental clarity for a few days.
So combo is like a toad venom that they inject, or they they basically pierce your skin a little bit, and they take some of it's like a wax, and they place it on there, and they call it points, and you might do 1 or 2, and sometimes you might need 4 or 5, but they put it on you, and you get a flushing, your heart starts pumping. It's kind of scary because your body thinks it's going to die. So your body releases right from the bone marrow all these peptides and defense mechanisms. So your defense on your body goes into hyperdrive. And people do cold plunging. This is like doing 1,000 cold plunges in a row, right? Every day to get your peptides up. And the first time I did it, so you do vomit, but it's very short. It's a few minutes. So you purge only. There's no like trip. It's not psychedelic. You're sweating and you purge, but you're purging out energy too. Same thing. Like you'll throw up in there, but it might be like that, but you think the fucking book gets full because you're purging out all that negativity. The reason I do it is because, I'm a cancer survivor. I have hairy cell leukemia, which can come back. It's in remission. And I just had this weird download one night in a dream that like I need to do this combo that Los was telling me about. And if I do that consistently, it'll never come back.
And how often do you do this?
I try to do it once a month. So I
Wow.
bring in a shaman to my house and I do it there. And he's actually coming next week if you want to try it. And it's real quick. It's a few minutes. It does suck, but nothing like ayahuasca. It's very quick, in and out, and it cleanses you. So the first time I did it, my vision, because like the same thing with like your vision, it's like it cleared all this guck off like my brain, eyeball. I don't know what it did, but like the colors of everything became brighter. Everything was like super clear. And I just had like this really good like peace about everything. Like it just cleared out all that little muck, whether I got in an argument with my wife or I yelled at me, something happened. It just builds up on you and it just clears it out. But it also increases your defenses. They say up to 30 days, depending if you drink sugar and stuff, it'll knock it out of you. But
Hmm.
if you eat pretty well, like every 30 days, if you do this, like I don't get sick. Like if I miss a couple, like sometimes I'll go 3-4 months and I'm like, fuck, I just got sick. But I don't have a spleen, right? So my defenses aren't really great. And I was with a girl one time, or somehow I got some sort of virus on my lip. I don't know how I got that. And
You know how you got
yeah, I
that
don't
shit.
know. And it used to
I don't
come
know
out.
how it got
I
there.
don't know, but it used to come out every month. And ever since I started doing combo, it's never come out.
Mm.
Every once in a while, I'll have like a slight little breakout, but it'll go away pretty quick because my immune system is so high, and you just feel really good. I'm not right. They say do it once a year or once every 6 months, and I just do it more, like every month or every 2 months, because I just don't want my cancer to come back. I want to be around for my kids, and fuck it. Like I do it, and now I'm like a pro at it. Like literally, he'll show up, and my mind and body knows. Like as soon as the shaman shows up, I almost want to purge. Like he'll sit me down, he'll light some of his sage, and I'll start like purging. He's like, "Don't purge yet. I didn't put any medicine on you."
Bro, I
So
mean,
because your
I
mind
witnessed
and
you do
body is
this.
connected, yeah.
I witnessed you do this.
Yeah. I was like,
No, you started dry heaving before you even took the stuff, and I was like, I am out of here. No fucking way.
Sounds like a lot of work to get that mental clarity. I just jerk off.
yeah. But it's like it's a boost to your immune system, and why wouldn't you want your immune system better? And when you
Okay.
do it, like you don't want to drink Coke, and like you don't like just mentally you're like, I don't want to drink alcohol. I don't want to eat, like I want to eat clean, just by doing this. So like for the next 2 weeks after, I'm like, no, I'll just drink water. Like I don't need anything. I don't even need iced tea. Like no sugar, and it makes you a better person. I'm trying to be the best version of myself. And I think without ayahuasca and plant medicine, I would have never been where I am today. Not just from financial standpoint, but I'm talking about like my relationship with my wife, my kids, me as a good human. Like I want to.
You need to be a brand ambassador for this.
Sure.
You realize that all the listeners out there are going to be like, man, this sounds like a fucking good idea. There's like hundreds of people at home searching it out. Where is this located at?
Yeah, it's like ayahuasca shaman.
Shove it. Yeah. No, but it's great. Combo's good. I had a really good experience with it. But you guys don't want to ever do it.
I mean, I can't do it live at One Life Studios right here. You bring in the shaman.
This is not the right center.
I could-
We talked about environment.
Oh, that's the thing. You guys can like,
Chant.
calm me down. Could have like some drugs on standby, beta blockers or whatever in case I start having issues.
You know,
And try to describe it on camera.
I actually just got a prescription for beta blockers. They're amazing.
They are.
I really cannot believe how good they are. I don't want to get off topic, but you brought it up, so I'm going to address it. Like,
For sure.
beta blockers are amazing.
Low dose beta blockers for migraine prophylaxis, also for people who have stage fright, or like if you are one of those people out there that, you want to be a public speaker, you want to have something, you want to do something on stage, stand up comedy, whatever. You could have a person that has great material, does all of the prep time necessary, and go up there and just fucking die on stage because they can't control their heart rate, they can't slow down their mind a little bit. And beta blockers are just lower the heart rate. They're used for hypertension, they're used for certain types of arrhythmias, and a low dose beta blocker can feel like an awesome thing. Robert Downey Jr. talks about that at the friggin' Oscars, talking about, he's like, oh, I feel great up here, I'm on a beta blocker.
Do you do those for your comedy or no?
No, you know what? I was thinking about sometimes, because like I'll get in certain situations where if I'm at a place that I've never been to before, or I know my material's just not going to hit right with the crowd. Like I was in a roast battle, but I also had to do a set in Coachella, and it was like 95% Hispanic. And I'm like, I don't necessarily know if this is going to go over as well here as it does sometimes in Palm
Did you
Springs.
do your wetback jokes?
No, I didn't. But you know what? Like, I'm there and I'm like, should I wear the heels tonight and have the white coat on? It's like a Cholino bar and, like playing Mexican music. And that's a culture that's, very masculine and everything.
Yeah.
And I just don't exude masculinity. Maybe I do and just don't
What are you
realize
talking
it.
about,
But
man? The pink unicorns?
Yeah,
What are you talking about, man?
Amazing.
So you don't use them, or you do?
no, I haven't. But, I've been thinking about at least getting a prescription for it and having some on hand just in case I'm in a situation where like, oh, they all of a sudden they tell me like, hey, this is the stakes are higher for some reason,
Yeah.
where I might just at least have the option to do it. Sometimes having the drug does the same effect. I know people that have like panic attacks, not like constant anxiety, but panic attacks, and have a small amount of alprazolam on them. And that makes them, sometimes that's enough to make them not have a panic attack.
These people need ayahuasca.
Yeah, they do.
From firsthand experience, definitely get the prescription and because it's just, if you're stage fright's a great example, but sometimes like if you're, I'll be in a conversation or I know a conversation is coming with, a certain person that maybe I like have a background with
Yeah.
or whatever, and I'm feeling tense about it. I can take one of those, and it's just makes these things so much easier.
You get a little social anxiety. Like I like people, I like to talk, I like to make people laugh, but like forced, like when you go to a party where you don't know a lot of people or anything like that, sometimes you just feel a little bit anxious and you're not the best version of yourself because you're just on edge.
Yeah.
I think sometimes that would help in those kind of situations as well.
Totally.
Just like,
Yep.
if you want to make a good impression, but it does. Sometimes I feel like if I want to make a good impression on people, it's like forced, that forced interaction. And I hate that. I want to be my genuine self. I want to say this goofy shit that I might be suppressing. And like, I think if I was a little bit calmer, I would just let it flow and say it and fuck them. Like if they don't like who I am, I don't have to talk to them anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You should bring your dress and heels to every like Sacred Heart party, right? Like family party, right? Because that'll break the ice.
Yeah, for sure.
I think so.
Take a beta blocker.
Beta blocker,
Hit the
put some
stage.
heels.
You bring a stage everywhere, like setting up in the corner, like what the hell is Shane doing?
I only socialize on stage.
Yeah, do 5 minutes at the next birthday party.
Yeah. But to go back to your question, yeah, I mean, for a variety of reasons, I can't do those kinds of things right now. But I don't know. At some point in the future, I might be open to doing it. I just feel like I have a bit of a, I don't know. Right now, with everything I've got going on with my life, like young kids, like I just feel kind of too stressed out it makes me feel like kind of mentally fragile in some ways. It's like I'm trying to juggle so many things and keep so many things going that I worry that, doing something crazy might, or I shouldn't say crazy, but doing something out of the ordinary might like throw me off in one of those things
Too
that
much
matters.
mental clarity
Well, no.
might disrupt the rest of your
Well, no,
universe.
well, I mean, I think more of like it might cause me to like really panic, and then sometimes when that
Oh, you mean
happens,
just
something like
the actual like while you're the experience.
Just the
Yeah,
experience.
I'm as afraid as you of the experience. I'd love to get the after effects of it, but I also do worry, like, just like how you said, like, it kind of opened your mind to all the things that were possible. I don't necessarily know if if my wife would be really excited to be like, "Hey, guess what? I quit pharmacy tomorrow and I'm gonna go fucking, do something go be a comic full time or go
But
after these other dreams."
but you could be the next Joe Rogan. Like, you don't even know, but
I'm only shaped like Joe Rogan's a little bit.
and I know you can take him down. But anxiety is uncertainty in the future. Like, that's what anxiety is. Like, you're just unsure of like tomorrow, and that's something that I think ayahuasca would help you overcome. So that should be your intention: is how do I get over my anxiety? And then you go into this with an open heart, open mind, and you just fucking dive in, and you have to put in the work. So when you're there, don't think I'm gonna fucking die. I'm gonna die. No, I'm putting in the work right now. I'm doing it for me and my kids and my wife and my soul. And if you think about that, you convince yourself that's what you need to do, because that's what I think you need to do to overcome anxiety. Um, it will help your anxiety tremendously. And I guarantee you, when you're done and you process everything, because all those images I told you about that didn't make sense, once you're done and you sleep that night and the next day and the next day after that, and sometimes it takes a week, those images organize themselves in your brain and it makes sense. And that's when I got over the trauma, because I understood the whole path.
You kind of like piece it together.
Piece it together. And trauma is a memory, right? And it's calcified, it's in your brain, and you shoot back there whether or not you realize you are. So if like I hit you as a kid, right, and then you're an adult and I go like that and you're like, oh, and you're like, fuck, and you get traumatized, you're not even thinking like, why are you so scared of, getting hit? It's that trauma is just calcified, that connection. And ayahuasca, through certain studies, have been shown to break that connection in the brain, and it creates a new one. So it breaks the trauma completely. Like, I don't have any trauma. And it created my full understanding by accessing knowledge that I didn't have access to. How the fuck did I see my dad when he was a kid?
That makes
Like, what the
a lot of
fuck?
sense
Like,
to
this
me.
is crazy.
Because the neural pathways, when you're younger, they talk about neuroplasticity and how
Yeah.
when we're younger, we have all these available pathways. And as they get older, some of them die off and we're kind of just trained into how we deal with the world. So if this somehow helps us create those new neural pathways and get a little bit of that plasticity back, we can start processing information and dealing with the world around us in a new light. So that makes total sense to me
It's a complete,
from a scientific
it's a
perspective.
complete upgrade. So I hear you, and I know it. And I've had anxiety in the past too, and I get it. And that's why it took me 4 years to do this. And it took like a moment in my relationship, like, I need to go do this because I need to change, and therapy's not going to help me. So let me go do this, and hopefully it does something. And I was completely open to just doing it. I knew I had to put in the work. So I read about all these, so I'm like, dude, that sounds horrible. And it was horrible, right? But then I look forward to it. I'm like, let's get to war, right? Because it was war, because I saw what the outcome was after the first time. And I looked forward to it. And after like my 8th time, like, I don't need to go to war anymore, because the outcome's not there anymore. I don't have anything else I need to work. You always have stuff to work on, but at that level, I felt I had a good foundation again.
But this sounds like the nuclear option for dealing with things. You don't always need a nuclear option.
And it shouldn't be looked at as nuclear. This is a medicine to the indigenous people that found this. This wasn't a nuclear option.
I was reading that I don't remember what tribe it was, that every time that the warriors that went out for the hunt, they would come back and do ayahuasca or have a ceremony to purge themselves of that, so that they could reintegrate into just not going out and killing things. So when after their hunting party, they would come back and do this.
And before they went, they used to do combo, because it increased your sight. Remember I told you about the sight? Like, it's very clear, and I was like, you become very focused. So like, you do combo before you're gonna get in a fight, you're gonna be very more.
That's what you did before you wrestled me.
I did
cheated.
3 shots of combo.
I felt all that grease on him. I was like, what the hell is this?
That was fun. I enjoyed wrestling.
That was fun.
Yeah.
I guess what do you guys think of? Because now they're doing like ketamine treatment, like in-office ketamine treatments that are supposed to be somewhat similar in the sense that it kind of gets you to a certain level without letting you go too far. And, I actually used to, a friend of mine's a doctor in Austin, Texas, and he offers this in his office. And he was like, you should give it a try sometime. And I was like, I'm just not sure that like a sterile room with a nurse on an IV is like the way I want to work on
Yeah.
like trauma. Like,
Yeah.
but it does at the same time, it is very effective for certain people from
Yeah.
what I read. But then also it's like, I feel like it might be chipping away a bit at some of the things you were talking about, which are, cultural lack of acceptance of these
Yeah.
things.
It's a baby step, right? And I think San Francisco, Oakland, some other area in California, they legalized this. I mean, they decriminalized it. So there are parts in California, San Francisco, Oakland in 2019, they decriminalized DMT, Santa Cruz in 2020, then San Francisco in 2022. So there's a religious exemption too in California. So if you're doing it in a religious setting, which is where I did it, it is legal. But this is a Schedule 1 drug. There's no reason it should be a Schedule 1 drug. It's just
So weird.
insane. The same with cannabis. Like what? Why is cannabis Schedule 1? This is crazy. So
Well, there's already, there are certain, cannabidiol is Epidiolex. That's the brand name of it. It's a medication. They use it. It's like specialty drug. It's used for certain types of epilepsy, and it's very effective for Dravet syndrome and Lennox-Gastaut syndrome. So there are certain drugs. They use that. They use Marinol, which is another
Yeah.
cannabinoid that they use for cancer for patients that
Yeah.
need to increase appetite. So there are uses of it. It's just if you have large pharmaceutical industries have a vested interest in keeping these drugs off the market and leaving them Schedule 1. That's the reason why they remain Schedule 1.
No, I get it. I mean, that's you access the same drugs that are legal in pill form, and they don't want it legal because it'll cut in their profits.
Yeah.
When in reality, they could control the market. They understand how to produce this. They have all the labs. They have all the licenses. If you made ayahuasca legal tomorrow, they can make it in a lab super clean, super perfect, the right ratio, everything, and distribute it through their network and make a fuckload of money.
Yeah. And if everybody was singing it, if all of a sudden there was a whole generation of people singing the praises of this, just like you are, there'd be a lot more people out there trying it, and most likely a lot less people using benzodiazepines and SSRIs
Yeah, but
and
come on,
committing
man.
suicide, doing those
But
things.
come on, like if they did do that, you'd have all these people doing it like 4 to 8 times and never having to do it again because they're like cured of their trauma. or
They don't
whatever.
cure shit. It's just about the treatment.
There's no money to be made in curing anything.
No. And this cures. Like it at least for me, it cured things that were unseen, but were inside of my soul and my body and my mind. And in your mind lives your soul, right? It lives who you are. And how you reflect that affects your reality. I think everybody tonight should go on ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT, answer yes or no. Can a human change their life and their future through manifestation only? And it says yes. And that's what ayahuasca told me. And when I learned that and I believed it, and I started changing my outlook from being negative or I'm stressed out to like, no, I'll get that. It's no problem. I'm going to do this. I'm going to start another company. I'm going to do that. I'm going to go buy a building. I'll find the money. I'm going to be the best dad I can be. We're going to take that trip, even though I don't have money saved up. I'm going to save it up. It just all comes. And I believe it sounds insane, but you have to work towards it, but you have to believe you already have it. And I try to explain this to brothers that are struggling, like in their own lives. And they just sort of, they look at me like I'm insane. But I'm like, dude, it's real. Look at me. Like it's real. And the fact that
You got me convinced. You're like, give me the Tony Robbins speech. It's like Tony Robbins, but awaken the giant within you with drugs.
but like Mike Mead of 10 years ago would have never touched a psychedelic and never, ever even thought of that. And now I'm preaching it because it was so amazing.
Do you think that your family and the people that are closest to you would say the same thing? Like, I see a huge, like your wife, would you say, I see a huge difference in him, the before ayahuasca, the after these 8 miraculous
Everyone
sessions?
that knows me really well said you've grown a lot. You're a different person than you were 10 years ago. I was an angry guy, bad temper, focused on I thought money just made happiness. It doesn't. And when I said I don't give a fuck about money, I made so much more money. It was just fucking weird. Like way more money. And I'm like, that's fucking weird. And like, I just want to spend more time with kids. And I'm like, oh, we're on a vacation for a month. And I want to do that. I want to buy a house on Clancy Lane where I used to drive the street and as a kid and dream about these big mansions. And one day my wife's like, we've saved up so much money. We have a bunch of investments. Go fucking buy it. Let's go Clancy Lane. Let's buy a new house. I'm like, dude, I'm not buying it. That's crazy. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, she's right. And I went and we did it. And I bought it at the right time. But like anything you manifest, you can have. I'm lucky. I have a beautiful partner who's super supportive in everything. I can be like, we're going to the moon. She's like, you'll make it to the moon. You're going to do it. Like literally, I'm like, I'm going to do a podcast and like, I'm not going to be home. And okay, go do it. Yeah. We're going to take $40 million and invest in a cannabis. Like, all right. Yeah. I support you can do it. You're going to do it. And like always supportive. And a lot of people don't have that. So I feel bad, but I got lucky in that
Well, I think you have to
respect.
seek them out, right?
You have to
You
seek
have
it.
to seek out
Yeah.
the people that are gonna cheer you on.
Exactly.
Not just your spouse, but I think the people that you surround yourself with help you manifest the life that you want to have.
Yeah. I cut out so many like friends and circles and like I have way less friends than I used to have. I had 1 million friends when I was in my 20s. So now I have 5, right? But they're real friends and they're genuine and they look at the world the way I do. And I think your circle defines you, right? When you surround yourself with people that are negative or a certain element or a vibration, it's going to bring you down. And so I'm always looking for people to befriend or go into business with because I'm like, man, that guy's on another level, or I like the way his outlook on life, or I like he seems like a good man, he's got a good family. I like let me hang out with him. I go to dinner with him instead of like my other friends who just want to get drunk and fuck around. Um, and it's all part of the journey, right? You have to be able to make those decisions and those distinctions and want to continue to make yourself better. In 10 years, I want to be twice the man I am today. But I have a lot of growing to do, a lot of changing to do because there's still things inside my mind, and whether it's videos on my phone or whatever I'm doing, or the thought process kind of scatters and I look at a girl and think something kind of evil. It's like, I need to stop that. Like, if I want to grow, like, you got to fucking man up. Let's grow. So I'm constantly challenging myself. And before I was just trying to survive and define my worth to the world. And ayahuasca made me realize I don't have anything to prove to anyone. It's just all about me and God and increasing my own vibration. And this medicine was like a gift from God, and I'm glad it's there, and I wish it was legal.
I'm really inspired by you saying that because I'm actually like personally right now in my life in this transitionary phase that I'm trying to figure out. And it's like really challenging because I've kind of realized in the last 6 months that I've always defined like my personal value to the world in financial terms.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like,
I think a lot of men do that in
Most
general.
people do, and it's
But-
totally wrong.
yeah, it's
Totally.
weird. And it's weird. And like, I'm sure it's probably like a culturally driven thing that like I learned it from my culture. And I probably learned it from my
It's the
people in my
peacocking.
family. No, I mean, but it's also really weird because if you had asked me if I did that a couple of years ago, I'd have been like, no, I don't do that. There's so much more to life than that. But I'm like going through this transition right now where I'm not making as much money as I used to.
Yeah.
And I'm like, my life is worthless. Like I think that sometimes and I'm like, what is going on? Like what a bizarre thing to think. Like we all go through transitions where, we make more money
Yeah.
or less money or this or that. And it shouldn't matter at all. But it's weird. I don't know. What you said really resonated with me because that is something I would love to let go of because I don't understand it. I don't understand how I got it. I don't rationally believe in it, but it's something that weird that I feel sometimes.
We learn to view the world like that. I think it's hard for women. My wife, I know when we started going to Sacred Heart, you get wrapped up in the peacocking and what other people have, and you start basing your happiness on like I shouldn't be as happy because these people have more than I do, and I never got to play that game because all the people that I am like most inspired by aren't necessarily the richest people. It's all the people that I think, God, that person is so much smarter than I am.
Yeah.
I wish I understood the world the way that they do. Those are the things that really impress me, or this person that wrote a book that, or wrote a song, or comedian that I just think is brilliant. Those are the people that really inspire me. So I've never been able to play that same game, but I understand it. I think we do measure ourselves sometimes as men by our ability to provide. And I always felt like a great provider,
Yeah.
because I came from such a poor background.
Yeah.
But then you go to a place like Sacred Heart where there's families who have way more wealth, and then all of a
Private
sudden,
parking
like,
spot.
yeah, those kind of things. And then your kids are like, so and so has this. Then you start to question, well, maybe I could do more. Maybe I should, try and make money on the internet, or I should have been a doctor instead of a pharmacist, like
Yeah.
those kind of things. But still, at the end of the day, what impresses me more is the people that I can learn things from.
Yeah.
And I think that's the most important thing. So seeking and trying to do those things that money can't buy.
I'm really happy you said that, because as you were talking about like what defines your circle of friends now, the only thing that I would have appended it with is I want to be friends with people who I learn things from.
Yeah.
Because it's pretty easy to fall into just routines and you just do the same shit,
Yeah.
like going out and drinking with the same people, and you don't really learn anything. They don't have anything to add.
No.
But I love like having a circle of friends where we do different things. We see the world in different ways, and you just learn.
Yeah.
It's so enriching.
Yeah. And I think money, as a defining factor of like your own self-worth and success is ingrained in our society, and honestly, all societies around the world, pretty much. And that was one of my downloads that I took from it. And that's what really opened me up, that I said, fuck, I don't care about money. It's not real anyway. It's not real. And I equated money into time and memories. So the money that I make doesn't make me more valuable. It allows me to make the memories that are instilling and will vibrate through my children and myself and my wife. And when I die and you have that flash of memory of your your whole life, it'll flash before your eyes. I'm not going to have flashes of like cashing a $2 million check, or me at work, or me buying a building. It's going to be me, my kids, and my wife, and my friends, and all those special moments. So I want to make as many of those moments as I can. And money allows me the freedom to do that. And everybody's like, oh, you're fucking always on vacation. Or you're like, fuck yourself. I earned this, and you should work hard not to go buy a Ferrari, even though I have a Ferrari. It's to have the freedom to go make those experiences and see the world and learn from other cultures, and give your kids an experience that they set an expectation, not to fucking make a bunch of money, but to be able to afford to live in this world that's very expensive and very demanding.
They'll remember those trips a lot more than they'll remember your Ferrari.
Absolutely. They don't give a shit. My kids don't even care about the cars. And honestly, I didn't buy the car to like peacock at the school. I bought it because I've always loved cars. And I love the architecture and the design. It's hand built. It's fucking beautiful. I get in. I don't want anybody to see me. I blacked out the windows. I did it for me. And that's an experience. That's one of my experiences. I get in that car and I fucking go 150 miles an hour in a Ferrari. Fucking dude, have a bad day and go do that. You'll feel wonderful.
Just don't do it while you're doing ayahuasca. That would probably be a bad idea.
But
Don't want to shit in the Ferrari.
if more people looked at money and wealth as just like, hey, it's just freedom. It means I can take that extra week off of work and can take my kids to Disney World or wherever they want to go. That's I think the value of making more money. And when you get into entrepreneurship and starting businesses, you change people's lives. You give people jobs and promote them. You build buildings, like businesses move in, you build homes, people move in and have experiences, and you're adding to the culture and life.
Yeah.
So all the businesses that I'm involved in, like I'm not cutting down trees in a lumber company. I'm not selling fucking cigarettes. I think marijuana is a very good drug for our society. It helps a lot of people. I believe building buildings and creating environments builds experiences. It's like the program. I'm building a city on my program, right? I'm helping to create. I'm starting a business or partnering with somebody and giving somebody that's a hard worker and has a great idea. I'm going to fund it with you. Like my construction company, I'll fund it. You do the work, and now he gets to own a construction company and provide for his family. And we have 30 employees or 40 employees, right? So it's about just affecting as many people in your life positively as you can. And also looking inside and elevating your vibration. That's what this whole life's about. And I would have never known that without doing plant medicine. So I'm glad we talked about it.
You heard it here first, kids. Michael Mead said, drugs are bad, but not all the time.
All right, guys.
Dare to do ayahuasca.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining us. We'll see you on the next episode. A spark within the mind ignites. Vibrations hum through endless heights. The third eye opens. Sight unbound. Where soul and cosmos both are found. The soul's own pulse, a sacred song, lifts us higher where we belong. Through holy light and vibrations sway, we draw to God, and there we stay.